صدق اللہ العظیم۔
معزز خواتین و حضرات، 1 سال قبل جب دشمن نے ہمارے وطن عزیز پر جارحیت مسلط کی تو قومی سیاسی قیادت نے ایک غیر متزلزل عزم اور بصیرت کے ساتھ رہنمائی فراہم کی، جس کے تحت پاکستان کی مسلح افواج متحد ہو کر ایک ایسی آہنی دیوان بن کر ابھری جس نے قومی امنگوں کی عکاسی کرتے ہوئے دشمن کے ناپاک عزائم کو خاک میں ملا دیا۔
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now kindly request you to rise for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, on land, Pakistan Army, led by Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir, inflicted heavy damage onto the enemy through precise targeting, employing unprecedented firepower. Whereas at sea, Pakistan Navy, under the command of Admiral Naveed Ashraf, defended the nation's seaward frontiers and deterred aggression across a turbulent, multi-front regional threat. In the skies, upholding the proud legacy of being second to none and guided by its bold leadership, Pakistan Air Force rose with commanding thunder.
یہ مارکہ نظم و ضبط اور باہمی ہم آہنگی کی ایسی بے مثال علامت تھی جس میں ہر حکمت عملی کے بر وقت اور مربوط استعمال سے اللہ تعالیٰ نے ہمیں فتح مبین سے نوازا۔
At the heart of this triumph stood the bold and visionary leadership of Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmad Babar Sidhu, who spearheaded planning and execution of PF's air campaign by turning its reorientated doctrine into operational reality. He was the architect of PF's transformative modernization, comprising smart induction of our war-winning capabilities and indigenous pursuit of integrated niche and disruptive technologies. In a fierce and unprecedented air battle, featuring the largest and longest BVR engagements involving most modern fighter aircraft, Pakistan Air Force delivered a decisive and resounding blow, downing 8 IF aircraft, including 4 Rafales, 1 Su-30, MiG-29, Mirage 2000, and a Heron UAV.
انہی جہتوں کو اجاگر کرنے کے لیے آئیے دیکھتے ہیں مارکہ-e-حق میں پاک فضائیہ کے کردار پر مبنی ایک دستاویزی فلم۔
There are moments in history when nations are tested, moments when peace is challenged, when sovereignty is provoked, and when destiny calls upon the guardians of a homeland. 1 year ago, Pakistan faced such a moment. What followed was not merely a response. It was discipline forged into action, precision transformed into power, and resolve written across the skies. That defining chapter became known as Marka-e-Haq. On 22nd April 2025 at 1400 hours in the northwestern mountainous region of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, a locality bustling with attracting tourists. A premeditated false flag attack by the Indians was launched on their own innocent people, claiming 26 Indian lives. In a blink of an eye, without an iota of evidence, the Indian government started a disinformation campaign to build a flawed and false narrative against Pakistan.
With the greatest of respect to the judges, they will not take responsibility for the security situation. These are matters in which the governments and armies must be given a free hand.
Anticipating a possible misadventure, Chief of the Air Staff, Pakistan Air Force, activated a calibrated, multi-domain posture. His strategic foresight and commitment to ensure impregnable aerial defense of the motherland translated into a potent application of highest state of operational readiness, embedded seamless integration of multi-domain warfare assets. Chief of the Air Staff remained fully engaged, personally overseeing developments and directly briefing each member of his core team on the operational design and his strategic game plan. This was not a reactive deployment, but a deliberate positioning of all tiers of aerospace power. PAF's manned combat force on alert, unmanned systems for persistent surveillance, space-based assets for extended situational awareness, cyber units securing and probing the digital domain, integrated air defense systems layered for deterrence, and electronic warfare capabilities primed to dominate the spectrum. The objective was clear: maintain full spectrum awareness and be ready with a measured, proportionate response to retain escalation control. This did not happen overnight. It was a strategic foresight of PAF leadership, who soon after assuming command of PAF envisioned how the future war between India and Pakistan would look like. Induction of niche technologies based on modern warfare parameters and their swift operationalization poised PAF to be ready for this moment through a network-centric enabled PAF's own homegrown kill chain, alongside the induction of cutting-edge fighter aircraft like J-10C, JF-17 Block 3, and air defense systems like HQ-9B. Each unit was seamlessly integrated into a multi-domain network of PAF. PAF elite fighter units, especially No. 15 Multi-Role Squadron, equipped with J-10C aircraft, were enabled and trained with a very aggressive mindset and killer instincts through exposure in complex, near-realistic combat scenarios to shoot down the enemy whenever called upon by the nation. Pakistan's armed forces stood forged as a single, indomitable war-fighting machine, disciplined, cohesive, and relentlessly decisive. On land, vigilant formations of Pak Army under the astute leadership of Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir secured every frontier. At sea, guardians of the maritime domain denied hostile designs, whereas in the air, the sword and shield of the nation, Pakistan Air Force rose with thunderous certainty. This was the power of jointness and synergy. Every movement connected, every domain aligned, every strike carrying the weight of a nation united. On the first anniversary of Marka-e-Haq, every member of Pakistan Air Force renews a sacred pledge to remain vigilant in peace, to remain fearless in crisis, and to guard every horizon of the motherland. During Marka-e-Haq, PAF Shohada wrote their names in the heavens with sacrifice, securing the honor of our nation. Their silence now echoes louder than thunder, a testament to duty fulfilled beyond fear, reiterating that the defense of Pakistan is inviolable. Its skies are secured by courage, its sovereignty is protected by sacrifice, its future is defended by those who stand watch in silence. And if any adversary again chooses misadventure, they will find Pakistan Armed Forces ready, united in command, steadfast in resolve, and decisive in response. Inshallah, Pakistani nation sleeps in peace only because its guardians remain awake. Pakistan Air Force, pride of the nation.
Being the fifth domain of PF's warfare doctrine, its cyber force secured digital infrastructure, communication networks, and remained actively involved in detecting and neutralizing hostile intrusions at any time. This was not just cyber application. This was decisive dominance in the digital battle space, and it continues.
آئیے دیکھتے ہیں اسی حوالے سے ایک مونٹاج جس میں مارکہ حق میں پی ایف سائبر فورس کے کردار کو اجاگر کیا گیا ہے.
After the Pahalgam incident on May 7th and 8th, India crossed the line and conducted aerial strikes against Pakistan. But under the watchful eyes and visionary mind of Chief of the Air Staff, Pakistan Air Force, the engagement became the first ever manifestation of seamless cyber integrated kinetic operations. Operation Divine Bites had begun. Operation Divine Bites demonstrated a defining reality of effect-based operating such a sophisticated operation. He has showcased technological superiority and the ability to anticipate and neutralize adversarial narratives. This was not coincidence, but a unified response executed in layers. The battlefield had expanded beyond land, air, and into networks, systems, and minds. PAF Cyber Force, developed under Chief of the Air Staff vision, is an embodiment of innovation, decisiveness, and adaptability, and it has shown tremendous results in this conflict. It is a result of his unmatched strategic acumen, which is setting a new benchmark for modern military commands. Under his exemplary leadership and foresight, PAF has evolved into a combat-ready cyber force that has been strategically transformed into cyber-integrated air power for shaping outcomes in an increasingly complex modern warfare. It is no longer just infrastructure, but a complete ecosystem with a rare blend of information exploitation. Wars are no longer just fought, they are written in code.
PF has a proud tradition of honoring its heroes for their feats of valor and supreme sacrifices. In continuance of the same spirit, I would now request Chief of the Air Staff to honor these heroes by awarding mementos to the families of martyrs and ghazis.
Squadron Leader Usman Yusuf Shaheed, Tamghe Basalat. چیف ٹیک اورنگزیب شہید. سینئر ٹیک نجیب سلطان شہید. سینئر ٹیک مبشر جاوید شہید. سینئر ٹیک محمد ایاز شہید. کارپورل ٹیک فاروق احمد.
Award of mementos to PF core teams. During Marka-e-Haq, Operations Branch, led by Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb Ahmed, ensured synchronized employment of air power across the battle space through meticulous mission planning and force allocation to achieve unified combat effects while preserving strategic flexibility and escalation dominance. PF's integrated air defense under the command of Air Officer Commanding Air Defense Command ensured enemy threats were detected, tracked, and neutralized in time as a unified architecture. It also enabled pinpoint standoff strikes against enemy assets using long-range vectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the Air Defense Team. PF's Electronic Warfare Force orchestrated a spectrum-dominant battle space by deploying sophisticated electronic attack and protection measures, effectively degrading sensors, radars, and communication grids of the enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, the team of EW Force. Headed by Air Commodore Ataullah Zeib, PF cyber warriors had put in place a robust defensive cyber shield before the battle raged on our eastern border. Its synchronized campaign disrupted the adversary power sector, transportation, energy supply chain, and info infrastructure across critical networks, whereas PF's unmanned systems, killer drones, and loitering munitions changed the rules of engagement as they penetrated deep into enemy's territory. PF Space Force, though new in the field, enabled surveillance across the breadth and width of the adversary with real-time imagery. It proved as a force multiplier, tracking enemy deployments and ensuring no threat could hide from its piercing eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Space Force. Being the linchpin of multi-domain operations of PF, EW, Space, Cyber, and Unmanned Systems teams were directly guided by Chief of the Air Staff himself, which accrued desired strategic effects during Marka-e-Haq. Besides these, Air Intelligence Team, led by then Director General AI, Air Marshal Muhammad Ehsanul Haq, created architecture for a coherent and accurate operational picture, ensuring information dominance by degrading the adversary's situational awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, the Air Intelligence Team.
اب مارکہ حق میں ستارہ جرت حاصل کرنے والے شیر دل شاہینوں کو سربراہ پاک فضائیہ اعزازات سے نوازیں گے.
Wing Commander Bilal Raza, ستارہ جرت. Wing Commander Hamad Ibn Masood, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Mohammad Yusuf Khan, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Mohammad Usama Ishfaq, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Mohammad Hassan Anis, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Talal Hassan, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Fida Muhammad Khan, ستارہ جرت. Squad Leader Muhammad Ashad Amir, ستارہ جرت. Now, I would request Chief of the Air Staff to address the audience.